Hello, 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 my friends. Caitlin here, and do you have any siblings? Is it a hunky-dory, happy sibling bond, or do you sometimes struggle with wanting to, murder your siblings? Let's talk about dealing with difficult siblings. So this video comes from a subscriber question, and Anonymous had this to say. How would you deal with an entitled, anger-prone sibling? Long story short is that I feel hurt by his behavior, but I'm tired of being the one to try and teach him to be more gentle. I've tried to share so much of myself with him, but what I get back is spiteful retorts and, perhaps worse, disregard for my perspective and feelings. So this question felt particularly pertinent because I also have a pretty difficult relationship with my brother. It's not something that I talk about a lot or have really given advice on before, in part because it's still something that I'm figuring out how to deal with. There's this one really old video on my channel where I talk about the time that he tried to murder me in my sleep with a giant steak knife, or it might have been a fire poking rod, just some sort of weapon he shouldn't have had. So yeah, you can watch that if you want to get a better idea of what my relationship with my brother was like when we were kids. But I also don't talk about it because, my parents, my family watch my videos and it's kind of a touchy subject. So just a warning now, family, maybe don't watch this video. And then I also don't want my brother to watch and then be offended by something I were to say. Oh my gosh. The lighting in this video is gonna be nuts. Sorry guys. I guess there's clouds or something, jeez. But what I found is that a lot of times when siblings don't get along, some of what makes it seem more difficult is this feeling that you are so different from one another and that you can't understand each other's perspective and that one or both of you isn't even trying to understand the other's perspective. The key realization here is that my brother and I are not all that different. We're actually scarily similar, and the reason we have trouble getting along is because we're dealing with very similar issues we have in very different ways. We're both perfectionists and have varying levels of OCD. And while I'm the type of perfectionist that will beat myself up until I can make whatever I'm doing perfect, he is more of a failure-oriented perfectionist, where if he feels like he's going to fail, then why even try? Do you see how that could be a problem? We're gonna try to solve problems and deal with differing stressors that come from being in a family together in very different ways, and usually not have a lot of patience for one another or our differing viewpoints. Why don't you get it? What's wrong with you? Why are you like this? Those are the kind of refrains we have in arguments with one another. So I'll be super honest that I don't have a lot of an answer in terms of how best to deal with a sibling you struggle to get along with, especially when you feel like you're doing everything in your power to be kind or understanding or meet them halfway somewhere. One thing I've had to accept is that you are in charge of the people that you invest your time and energy in. And though sometimes it seems like with family we're required to invest time with them, we're actually not. Obviously, if you're younger and living with your sibling, that is a bit more difficult because you're not entirely in charge of who you do and don't interact with in your household. But just as a thought going forward, you can back away from your relationship with your sibling as much as needed or possible. If they are angry or cruel or manipulative, a toxic person, you don't have to engage with them any more than is necessary. That's kind of what I've done, especially with moving away from my hometown so that I'm not really part of this constant drama that surrounds my brother a lot of the time anymore. And that's been really good for me. Though I do feel sad because I'd like to have a closer relationship with him. Especially as our parents grow older, I feel like having a close bond with your sibling is really important. But at least for the time being, it's better for my mental health to kind of keep a distance. So yeah, that's kind of the best advice I have at the moment. Obviously, try to be patient with them. Don't let them goad you into anger or to matching their cruelty back at them, because that just gives them fodder for the future and allows them to play this victim card back at both you and your parents. It's just not good, and a lot of times you have to learn the hard way that that's what's happening. If nothing else, I'm really sorry that you're having to deal with this and that you don't have the kind of happy sibling love that a lot of media portrays. I know it can make you feel like you're broken or your family is broken, but I think a lot of people actually deal with difficult families, so you're not alone. Jumping off of that, for the question today, I want to know how you have dealt with your siblings in the past. Like, is everything great? Have there been difficult times? Have you had to cut people out of your life in order to stay sane? I just wonder if by sharing the different kind of family experiences we've had, we can help Anonymous feel a little bit less alone. Thanks again for the subscriber question. If you have your own question or video topic that you'd like to submit, then just leave me a comment down below or fill out the super easy form on my website. And as always, remember that you can check me out on these other social media sites. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the moment there's a new video. And I'll see you guys. Oh, ow, holy cow, that hurt. That was a bad decision. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye.